What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. And I'm back. As always. Let me see if I can find this screen here. I don't know what's going on here. I want to share it eventually. It's a window. Yeah, that's it. And then I guess it's going to share the audio automatically. All right, so let's remove that right now. Boom. All right, we're good. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Adam, I am good, barakallahu feek. I hope you're well, bro. How you doing? Man, gotta talk the topic today. Andrew Tate. Guy is making waves across the internet. And he's good at it. That's what he does. And kudos to him for his big splash. Probably one of the most talked about names online right now. So anyway, we're gonna jump right in, or what are we gonna do? We're gonna jump right in. Adam said, let's get right to it. I like this brother, mashallah. All right, Adam, we're gonna do like you said, let's get right to it. All right, so first off, who's Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate, I think we all know who he is. Cobra Tate, Top G, all the names he goes by. In terms of like the different internet monikers he has, four-time world kickboxing champion. I'm not sure what league it is, if it's K1 or anything. I don't think he was K1, definitely not K1, but in whatever league he fought in, then he became a millionaire. He does cam, he did some, what do you call this? He did music. I don't think he ever sold it, but he did music. He's done basically everything. Dude's famous, internet famous. And so now he's like, he's basically the vicarious lifestyle / man figure for a lot of dudes in the world. When I say vicarious, a lot of guys like to live vicariously through him. They want to be like him. They quote him. They watch his videos. They share his videos. They're in his Hustlers University, which he's gotten. It's made a big splash. I've only heard good things about it. His community, the War Room. So he's out there. He's doing a lot of stuff. Dude's definitely famous. Definitely, he's quote unquote in the sense of the dunya. He's made it. He's also known for speaking highly and positive about Islam and traditional values. Although, realistically, we can't say that they're reflected in what we see in his outward actions, especially in terms of like, the cam business. But he does apparently, in his personal and private relationships, operate from a position of traditional style relationships. His women don't work. They have his children. They stay at home. They raise his children. He does have children. I do believe he has 9 children now, amongst multiple women. He takes care of them all. They stay at home, moms, whatnot, raising his children. And I think that's it. His brother, of course, Tristan, was also a kickboxer. Tristan doesn't speak on matters of religion at all that I know of. But this is in regards to his statements on religion. Now, going back to Andrew has made several statements in regards to Islam. in regards to Islam, which have all been relatively positive. So now apparently, he said something about Niqab. I was asked about it, and we're going to go over the video here in a minute. Something negative about Niqabs or Niqabi, saying it dehumanizes a woman or something like this. And I literally said, I don't care. And I still don't. I stand by that, but we're going to get into that. We're going to get into why. And a lot of the just arguments and conversations that people are having are just completely ridiculous and stupid, Yeah, he has like 9 children with multiple women. So let's just get into the video real quick. We'll add this to the stream here. Let me find the screen, and then we're going to play the clip here. So this is the clip.
I don't want to put a mask on. I don't want to put a mask on because I'm not scared of corona. I'm not scared of corona. So why should I be forced by law to cover up and muzzle myself And I believe this is, no, I know why they're doing this. They're doing this very, very clearly. If you look, let's look at the Muslim world, right? People have their faces covered. A lot of women have their faces covered. You know what happens when you cover someone's face? You dehumanize them. If you have 100 people in the crowd and you see their faces, you can see individuals. When you have 100 people with their faces covered, they're just a number. You dehumanize. It's part of the sheep mentality.
Okay. So he goes on to say in this video, and the context is actually, and the reason why I played full clip is because the context is kind of removed. The context was in regards to the corona and the corona masks and whatnot. And then he sort of threw in a weird comparison to Muslim women and the niqab and the corona things. Now, here's the thing. First off, just from a logical standpoint, I mean, this is actually a positive. It's not a negative. I mean, maybe I don't know what he intended by it. Obviously, maybe he meant something negative by it. I don't know. And see, this is stuff that needs to be clarified. Was he talking about the face, the niqab, it dehumanizes Muslim women? Or is he talking about the corona mask? It dehumanizes people. So, but whatever. Let's go with worst case scenario here. He's talking about both. He's talking about Muslims and he's talking about non-Muslims and the masks things with corona. So here's the thing. First off, this is actually a positive, and I don't care how you flip it or how you try and present it. It's a positive. I mean, let's look at the world and let's look at how it really is. And I've talked about this before, just not in this context because this is the first time we've seen this context. First off, I don't think that's really such a bad thing. Now, I do think it's a bad thing to dehumanize women, obviously, but in a sense, also it isn't. Now, let me explain why. And why is because the way we understand the world in the West, when it comes down to women walking down the street, is a sexual one, right? Women are out here putting their, wearing these pants that are super tight, mini skirts, shorts, too much body parts and skin showing just everywhere. And really, when we look at it like that, it kind of dehumanizes women more than niqab ever could, because now it just turns women into body parts. Wow, she's got a fat booty. Oh, she's got big tits. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's this. So what you end up doing is looking at a woman as body parts as opposed to an individual. Now, when a woman wears niqab, whether you say it dehumanizes her or not, when you deal with that woman, and you shouldn't really be dealing with her unless you have business dealing with her anyway, you have to deal with her as an individual and not like a sexual object and target. Now, if you're a player, if you're one of those pickup artist types of guys, if there's some non-Muslims here, when you see like a beautiful woman, what are you thinking when you're out doing your pickup artistry? So since he's a non-Muslim, let's speak from the context and the understanding of the non-Muslims, right? You go out, you see a beautiful woman, you're a pickup artist, or you're just a guy who really likes beautiful women. You're not, on the other side of the fence. You're not on the rainbow flag team. What's going to be your criteria for picking up a woman? Beauty, right? And what's presented to you? Beauty. So she's not even really a person. She's a physical ideal, right? Oh, wow, I really like that, because she fits some particular criteria that you have in your mind on what beautiful is and what beautiful isn't. And so that's the criteria you're using to approach her. When you have a Muslim woman who's completely covered, you don't know if she's pretty, you don't know if she's ugly, you don't know if she's fat, you don't know if she's thin, then a copies, right? So when you deal with her, you have to deal with her as an individual. You have to deal with her as a person because you don't know what's underneath there. Some women are really good at decorating their eyes. She takes that thing off. It looks like I said today, I saw this. I was walking with the wife and I was like, man, that woman's face looks like a dog's chew toy. Hey, I love our sisters, but some of them, they're kind of challenged in the beauty department. She might be hiding that under niqab. You don't know. When you deal with her, you have to deal with her as what? As an individual, because there's nothing else to go on other than I know there's a human female underneath that. Sometimes you don't know that, but most of the time, 99% of the time, there's a human female underneath that niqab, right? So no matter how you flip it, this is actually a positive. This is the beauty of Islam. You see, so let's go with the absolute negative here. even if he was saying something negative, and I don't know if he was saying something negative or not, because it would be odd that all this time he's speaking positively about Islam and Muslims, and then all of a sudden he flips it and starts going like, ham on ham, and I mean that pun intended. He starts going, ham on Islam and Muslims. Kind of like, what? Weird, because he has a pretty consistent behavior and manner online, doesn't he? Say what you like about him. I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him. And there's a lot of people like really just going crazy in my comment section. And I know Andrew probably better than anybody in the comment section because I've hung out with the guy personally, face to face in the same room more than once. So, I mean, say what you like. The simple fact of the matter is, like I said, the guy's consistent in his behavior. So, just on that point alone, Muslims should use some logic and reason and stop reactionary, emotional like behaviors and say, hey, you know what? That's actually not a bad thing. We actually don't want you to see our women as like anything other than an individual underneath that. It's not dehumanizing. It's perfect. Alhamdulillah. It's perfect because there is no way that a woman can universally go out into public, deal with both genders from a non-sexual perspective. There could be like, let's just say you have a very specific criteria as a man, what you find attractive and what you don't find attractive. Very specific. Even when you go outside, despite your very specific and narrow field of what you find attractive, you're going to find some women, you're going to find that attraction marker woman out there somewhere because you developed it somewhere, right? From your society, your culture, TV, whatever else. And when you see that woman, if you have to deal with her, how are you going to deal with her? Oh, hi, Susie. Hi, a nice day today, isn't it? You're going to, that's how you're going to be as a man. Women have it very difficult in the world. Everybody thinks I come down hard on women. I kind of do sometimes. But women should know better a lot of the stuff that we talk about in terms of like how the world really is and how men really are. Most men view women sexually, right? Samuel, slow down. I'm not defending anything he said. I'm saying we're going worst case scenario here. See, I hate people like this. These people why do I have the dumbest viewers? I have the dumbest viewers. I mean, not all of y'all. I love some of y'all. But people like Samuel, he shows up. You never seen him before. Never going to see him again. And he's obviously an idiot. It's like, why do you come here? This is not a channel for stupid people, Samuel. This is not a channel for stupid people, Samuel. Please go away. You're dumb. You're too stupid to be listening to me right now. Okay, Samuel, listen. I said we're going worst case scenario. He intended bad. Samuel, your name shouldn't be Samuel. It should start with S, yes, but it should be stupid. So stupid Ahmed, not Samuel Ahmed. Stupid Ahmed, I'm going worst case scenario here, okay? Can you slow down? You flipping idiot. Wallahi, if you was my child, I'd beat you for being so dumb. So anyway. Do what?
Samuel Ahmed, Samuel.
Screw that idiot. So anyway. Yeah, I don't care, Samuel. And we're going to get into that. I don't care what he intended. So anyway, where was I before this idiot derailed my mental train of thought? I hate stupid people. God.
The worst case.
So anyway, no matter what, this is a positive because you're going outside when you're dealing with women. When anyone's dealing with women in general, how are they dealing with women? It generally, somewhere in the back of a man's mind, in his quote unquote lizard brain, there is a sexual aspect, right? And so unless you're walking around, and I mean, it's proper, like talking to women like this, which is, correct. And inshallah, you should. But that first glance, there's that, oh, she's attractive. Oh, she's not attractive. It's instantaneous. You can't turn it off as a man. It's impossible. But when you don't have that, when there's just nothing but her niqab, what do you have? You have an individual in front of you. You don't have a person that you find attractive or you find unattractive. It's a woman, obviously. But to you, you don't know what she is. It makes it easier. Now, obviously, some of y'all guys got sicknesses in your heart and just, a woman in the niqab is too much for you guys. Fair enough. Nonetheless, it becomes hard to do that mental gymnastics or that mental thing of, wow, she's attractive. Then you look away, you look down, and you're like, oh, you look down because the woman's attractive. You can't do that with a niqab. You can't do it. It's perfect. So no matter how you try to make it into a negative, it's not. You can try all you want. But the reality is, if we live in the West, if you live in the West, you are 100% in an over-sexualized society and culture. Name me one Western society, one Western country in all of Western society that hasn't over-sexualized women. You can't. And Islam stops that, puts a dead stop on it, hard stop. At least for the sisters that are wearing niqab and they're covering properly. Even if she doesn't wear niqab and she's at least, covering her, covering in wide billowing clothes, it's perfect, right? It's hard to sexualize that. I mean, unless of course you have an illness in your heart. So there's that. That's the first part. Next, and the most important point. The most important point. What does it matter? I mean, someone tell me, what does the opinion of the non-Muslims, no matter who it may be, I don't care if it's Trump. Trump said he wants to put a full stop on Muslim immigration to the United States till we figure out what's going on. Those were his words, right? We're going to stop Muslim immigration until we figure what's going on. Here we are, 2022. Trump's gone. Muslims are still here. What did it change? Someone tell me what it changed when Trump said that. Trump's been out of office for almost 2 years now. At the beginning of his term, almost 6 years ago, he said, we're going to put a full stop on Muslim immigration till we figure out what's going on with us. We don't know if these people like us, they hate us, whatever else. Trump's not bigger than Andrew Tate. Dude was the president of the United States. What happened to Islam and the Muslims? I hear crickets. Someone answer right here. Answer. Someone put it in the comments. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. You know what's going to happen in 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 100 years? With the statements that anybody, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, this one, that one, Trump, about Muslims and Islam, you know what's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing. You know why? Because Muslims are still going to wear niqab. What, sisters out here not wearing niqab because Andrew Tate said something about it? What do you care? Like, it's an honest to goodness question. Why do you care? Why do Muslims care what the non-Muslims think about Islam? He was just on the Dean show. He was on the Dean show, and he had a very positive thing about peace with the Dean show brother. I forgot his name. Spoke with him for almost an hour, if not over an hour, about Islam, his proclivity towards Islam and the Muslims. And that came after this video, because this video is about the Corona time stuff. Then like a couple of weeks ago, just about a month ago, he was on the Dean show. Everybody's, oh, Andrew, whoa, woody woo, Andrew was on the Dean show. Oh, it's so amazing, blah, 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 blah. This video is older than the Dean show. Can y'all make up your fripping minds? Are you people schizophrenic, crazy madness? But then someone digs out a clip of him talking about, and he mentions Muslims, and y'all lose your mind. Y'all are crazy. Why do you care? Why do you care if he says something negative about Muslims and Islam? You gonna stop practicing Islam because Andrew Tate says something about Islam? You gonna stop being Muslim today or tomorrow? Yeah. And here's the thing. It's the most hilarious thing. They're in my comment sections fighting tooth and nail, arguing with me about what we should do this and we should say this and what we shouldn't retaliate, we shouldn't, whatever. What are you gonna do? Drop all the care, not care. You care that Andrew Tate said something. You want somehow me to care that he said something about Islam, like I'm gonna stop being Muslim, like I'm gonna stop, practicing Islam. I don't know, it's magically gonna cause some sort of magical harm to the Muslims in Islam. Okay, what are you gonna do about it? Andrew Tate said something you didn't like about Islam and Muslims. What are you gonna do about it? But I'm gonna go to Abuamerican's channel and complain. Do you see how pathetically stupid you look? Or you're going to get up tomorrow, you're going to do your salah like you always do. You're going to go hunt down Andrew Tate and fight him. You're going to find out where he lives in Romania, you're going to go fight him. What are you going to do? I'm not saying you're scared, but hey, kudos to you. Make sure you put it on YouTube. I want to see the fight. What you gonna do? You're gonna litigate? You're gonna go take him to court? What are you doing? Why do you care? If you care so much, tell me what you're gonna do. What's the plan? Give me the plan. Abuamerican's here to hear the plan. Everybody's like in my comment section going crazy. Where you at on Andrew Tate's videos? Y'all niggas won't even go to his channel and comment. You come to my channel. You're pathetic. You're not going to do anything. Stop acting like you care. You don't care. You won't go to his channel and say anything. We can go to the comment sections of all his videos, be they TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. What are you doing? What are you going to do? Hey, Andrew, I was offended by your statement.
On behalf of the sisters.
Give it to me, guys. Why do you care? Okay, so a non-Muslim guy has an opinion about Islam that you don't like. Well, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to deal with like the tribes of the Arabs in his time who didn't like Islam when it came. And they actually tried to kill him with swords. Now someone said something mean on the internet, I can't take it. They were literally torturing the Sahaba. The Sahaba were tortured over Islam. And they held on. They didn't complain. They didn't whine. They didn't moan. They didn't bitch like a bunch of little hoes like you guys do. And excuse me, Abuamerican's going to go off now. You absolute stank pussies. That's what you are. You are weak. You're weak and you're pathetic. And the weakness isn't here. The weakness is here and the weakness is here. And you know why I say that? Because you're here in my comment section. Your Islam is so soft. You're so soft and pathetic that just anybody can come along and say something and instantly you're triggered and you get a reaction. He's talking about Islam. Hey, my niggas, 1,400 years of straight hardcore Muslims. Where is Islam today? Fastest growing religion in the world, highest birth rate, largest conversion rate. We're still winning. He said something bad about Muslims in Islam. They tried to kill us in Bosnia. Where we at? They tried to kill us in China. Where we at? We still here. We're still the top. We're still the top. He's the top G. We the top religion. We're still here. But no, someone tried to say I was a sheep or something. It's like, no, you're the sheep. You're the sheep. You're the stupid sheep. Because you know what? Sheep, they respond to the barking of the dog and the whistles and the calls of the shepherd. Every time someone says something, you respond like a sheep. Too much social media. Remember I told y'all get off social media if you ain't got a purpose of being on here? This is what happened to you. You're weak and you're pathetic. That your entire Islam can be shaken. You get scared. That big name person said something bad about, the mean person said something bad about Islam. We got entire politicians talking bad about Islam. You think Andrew Tate's bigger than the French government? They're trying to ban Niqab in France. Y'all been mad about that for years. What did you do? Nothing. You know what you can't do? Anything. And you know what's still happening? People still wearing Niqab around the world, even in France. Every time someone says something, you run around like, internet. And then tomorrow, what? All you people in my comment section arguing with me. Okay, tomorrow, what you gonna do? I got Andrew Tate on WhatsApp. I got Andrew Tate on Telegram. Let's make a group. What you gonna do? You too scared to not be anonymous on the internet. You gonna say something to him? I can facilitate it. Message me on Twitter. I'll facilitate it. I'll talk to him. I'll say, hey, this person, he wants to challenge you on your stance on the Niqab. What are you gonna do? Nothing. So shut up and go about your life as a Muslim. It doesn't change anything for us what these people say. Nothing. And I like Andrew Tate. I actually like the guy. I don't have anything. He's doing what non-Muslims do. I understand the assignment. He's being a non-Muslim guy. That's what he does. Non-Muslims go non-Muslims. That's why in my community, it's run by what? Muslims, Salafi Muslims. Because that is my inner circle. And he has his inner circle. Do you see me in it? No. The hearts are enlisted soldiers. That doesn't mean we can't be cool. But at the end of the day, I know what the score is. Until that man says it's Shahada, he's not a Muslim. If war breaks out between the Muslims and the non-Muslims, whose side do you think he's going to be on? I'm not fooled about that. I'm not going to be mad at him about that. Those are his people. Muslims are my people. What are you confused about? Why are you worried about non-Muslims doing non-Muslim stuff? Love and hate is for the sake of Allah, right? Okay. So hate the man for the sake of Allah. You mad at him because he said something about niqab. Is he the first person? We got entire governments exacting legislation against Muslims. And you haven't done anything there. You've come down a step down. There's Andrew Tate because he ain't got his own government. What's the difference? Did the Muslims stop practicing Islam in France? You going to stop practicing Islam because Andrew Tate's the biggest name on the internet right now? And he said something you don't like? Why are y'all so emotional, man? I mean, I get emotional too. I get mad. But it's just like, why is it so easy to trigger y'all, over stuff that doesn't change anything? We are still the fastest growing religion in the world is Muslims and Islam. What are you scared of? He said something bad about niqab. Oh my God. Guess what? All of my wives are niqabis. Well, one of them, she stopped wearing niqab. So I have 4 wives. 3 of them were niqabis. One of them used to be a niqabi, but she still covers properly. Bet your Abuamerican is slam dunking on you in the niqab department. I got a love for niqab. I don't want anybody to see what my woman looks like. And if someone gets mad that they got a problem with niqab, guess what? Who doesn't care? Abuamerican's not going to go to his wife, stop wearing niqab. That guy said something about it. Oh my God. Baby, don't wear niqab. What are you going to do about it? Come. What are you going to do about it? Okay, my wife's wearing niqab. What you going to do now? Get shot in the face? I've got to get my guns back. But basically, if I get my guns back, when I get them back, I just need to do it. It's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, stay away from my people. You want to try and snatch it off her? Watch me snatch your soul. I'm going to be in jail 5 to 10 years. You're going to be in the grave forever. What do I care? Hey, you can hate Islam and Muslims and niqab and everything you want from over there. Go ahead and hate it. I don't care. We're going to do our thing over here. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. To you be your way and to be mine. What happened to that? Yeah, everybody wants to talk about being offended for the sake of law and this, that, the other, whatever else. What happened to lakum dinukum waliyadin? What happened to it? To you be your way and to be mine. I don't care what you say. My deen isn't going to change. My deen, my heart isn't rocked by that. I'm not scared. I don't have any sort of, he said something about Islam. Weak. And yes, a brother said it in here. I don't know where he said it. Thank you. Barakallahu feek. We aren't victims. We aren't victims. Everybody who's got something to say, now we got to react and get all emotional and all, oh God. Oh. Sad and pathetic. You don't have to care. You don't have to care. People who were alive at the time of the Messenger of Allah were trying to insult him to his face. What was your example? What did the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? What did he do? You have an example in him. You have an example in the Sahaba. What did they do? They moan and cry and complain and whine. Yeah. And again, I'm going to ask you this. What are you going to do? I've been telling y'all brothers for years, go into a combat sport, learn how to fight. Handful have done it. So even if you want to do something, you can't. That's why you come to the internet and you come to my channel and you whine and moan. You're too scared to even go to his channel or his Twitter and talk to him directly. Why complain at all then? If you're that scared, if you're that terrified, if you're that pathetic, give it to me. What happens to your religion? Trump said something about your religion. Andrew Tate said something about your religion. Jordan Peterson said something about your religion. You gonna stop practicing? Are you gonna stop practicing? You gonna stop being Muslim? Is Islam diminished? Is the religion of Allah? Listen to those words. Is the religion of Allah diminished by the words of those who disbelieve in him? You know, the beautiful thing about when I became Muslim, I became Muslim in a Salafi community. Alhamdulillah. And they just drilled Aqidah. That's what they did. They drilled Aqidah. And then they threw in Minhaj. And then they threw in more Aqidah, then more Minhaj. And one thing that comes with a rock solid Aqidah is an understanding that nobody's taking this religion off the earth. Nobody is taking Allah's religion off this planet. Anybody who has stood in the way of Allah's religion, where are they now? You tell me, name me one person who stood in the way of Allah's religion and is here today and you remember his name. Give me the name. Give me the name of those who have opposed Allah's religion. Where are they in the history books? Where are they right now? Show me their names, how they're outshining Islam and the Muslims today. Show me where there's great icons and statues and people following these people who stood in the way of Allah's religion to this day. Show me where they are. From the time of the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, up until today. Where are these people? Give me one. Give me a name. Someone. It's funny because every time someone actually tries to stand against Allah's religion, and I mean, again, this is the first time I've ever heard anything Andrew Tate said negative about Islam and Muslims. It's the first time. Not cool, but whatever. First time I heard it. It's not even a consistent behavior of his. But let's go with he made it a consistent behavior. You show me historically where someone stood up against Allah's religion and they weren't just sort of disappeared. They just wiped off the face of the earth historically. Give them to me. Who? Who? I want to comment. Name me those who stood in the path of Allah's religion. They tried to be a bulwark between the people and Allah. Show me these persons. Give me their names historically. Where are they today? Where are their people? Where are their folk? Yet here you are. Mashallah, barakallah feek. I know that guy. Mashallah. Yahya 1125 says, I know a bro who always says Muslims are completely ignorant of a religion they're so emotional about. What's his name? That man's name is Abuamerican. I say it all the time. Muslims are very passionate about a religion they're completely ignorant of. If you understood your Aqidah very well, you wouldn't care. Because you know it doesn't matter. Allah has wiped off the face of the earth anyone who has attempted to subvert his religion. You don't know their names. This is the beauty of it. If this isn't enough to believe for the non-Muslims, I don't know what is. Name those people. They're gone. It's like they never existed in the history books. Who are they? Allah just erased them. Here you are worried about some person in the 21st century and people literally with weapons tried to wipe us out. How many times in the past? Just 100 years. And here we are, still the fastest and largest growing religion in the world. We're surpassing all other religions. They still trying. You worried about one guy saying something about Niqab. Y'all soft. You're soft. And this soft, again, is not a softness of the body. This is something inside. This is a weakness in you, man. This is a weakness. This is a softness of spirit, of will. There is no, where's the jalin? Where's the manhood? Where's the dignity? Where's the dignity? Every time someone says something, I can't remember what ulama it was. Maybe Yahya can 1125 can move this. There was a scholar, I think it was Ibn Taymiyyah, is if you responded to everybody who came at you, like you'd be like, if they were like flies, you'd spend your whole life waving waving away flies. I can't remember what it was paraphrasing, but he's basically talking about the people in misguidance. And he says, if you listen to their every call, or if they're like flies, you'd spend your whole life trying to wave away flies or trying to scold every dog that barked at you. You could spend your lifetime just responding to everything that just people would say. You'd spend your life doing nothing else. You're just going to react every single time someone says something about Muslims in Islam. He said that. He said that. Okay. I'm not saying we got to let people trash the religion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, why do you have to care? Why do you have to care? Okay. Again, you have a problem with it, take action. We have the most traceable religion of all religions. We have the Asanid, we have the chain of narrators. Our religion can be traced all the way back to the Messenger of Allah. 100% traceable. We have the truth on our side. Alhamdulillah, you can't subvert that. Go to the man and speak to him then. Because coming here speaking to me about it, I used to be from amongst the non-Muslims. I could tell you stories. My dad used to tell stuff about like Muslims in Islam. Now when I think about it, like, man, where do you get that crazy stuff? I asked my dad that one day. My dad was when I was a kid, he used to tell stuff about Ramadan and all this type of stuff. Ain't none of it. Not a lick of truth of it. It's the craziest stuff. Wallahi, it's so embarrassingly wrong. I don't even want to tell the stories. I don't know if my dad was serious, if he was joking. I'm going to say he was joking because, I love my dad. I don't want to, the stuff he told me. When I became Muslim, I was like, yo, where do you hear that crazy stuff? Why would you say that? He just smiled. I was like, I don't know, man. Why do you... We got the truth on our side. So when I went back to my dad, I was like, what you said is kind of crazy. The origins of this in Ramadan is this. Oh, really? Yeah. You can read it in this book, this book. Do you want the book? Yeah, well, I'm probably not going to read it. I said, but I trust you. You seem like you know what you're talking about. Yeah, of course I know what I'm talking about. And so all I did was went down all those crazy things he told me, dudes, bros. I'm like I said, it's so embarrassingly wrong that I wouldn't. It was just like, it was nuts. Some of the stuff he told me. I just broke it all down later on because I remembered it when I was a kid, from when I was a kid, because it, like, for some reason, it left some big impact on me. And I was just like, yo. So, okay, so you got the truth. You know the truth of this book. You know the truth of the Sunnah. Why don't you speak to him then? If you're so bothered and you find it so offensive, go and speak to him. Go say something if you think it's going to make a difference. It's somehow going to benefit him or Islam in general. I don't know how. Like, go speak to him. I'd say speak to him, but start with Aqidah. Start with creed. If you actually approach the man about something he said, go with Aqidah. Don't why you go. If you can get his attention, then get his attention and teach him the Aqidah of Islam. But this right here, Niqab, why do you, I don't understand why people care. Is this new for us as Muslims? That the people attack Islam, that people attack Muslims, that people have bad things to say about Muslims in Islam?
They know better, but they don't do better.
The reason why Muslims get irritated is because they have to do business with such people. I do think that's why they get angry, because how can I do business with a person who insults my beliefs? Well, don't do business with them. Don't do business with them. It's easy. Okay. You don't like what a person says. Don't do business with that person. Don't do business with that company. You know how many companies there are in the world? There's probably some company that's in a business and they feel like their business branch is saturated. They're like, we can't get clients, we can't get customers because there's too many companies doing what we do. Go find them. They'll be happy to give you a good deal. But you see, that's the thing. And this is a 21st century problem right here. And Hassan, Barakallahu Feek, I'm not going to attack you. I'm not attacking you when I say this, but really this is part of the problem. You see, this is a 21st century mentality. This is a victim mentality. I got to do business with them. No, you don't. But what you don't want is you don't want the inconvenience of having to go find somebody else to do business with. It's too much work. It's too difficult. It's too hard. Oh, man, I got to go find a new supplier. Oh, gosh. All right. And then you got to go Google new suppliers and you got to go find suppliers and you got to go get offers from them. And you got to compare the offers and do Excel pie charts showing which one's better, which one's not. It's too much work. It's 21st century mentality. Don't do business with them. Do the hard work. You don't like that guy that much because he said something about your religion that you don't like. Find a new supplier. Find a new client. Find this. Find that. You can do it. But it's easier not to. So, why do Muslims attack Jews? Probably because the Jews spend a lot of time attacking Muslims in Palestine. I think it has something to do with that, probably. Yes, that's true. He did say that. That's a different statement, though. I can't remember. I'm thinking of Sheikh Al-Albani, but I can't remember the saying I was looking for. Yeah. I'm just going through some of the comments here. Jawad, mashallah, barakallahu feek. Jazakallah khair. Mashallah, Abuamerican, you're on point as usual. Jazakallah khair. I was sick tired of soft soap boy. Moderate Muslims who always seek validation from some famous wannabe non-Muslims as if they matter us. Exactly. It's like, okay, the guy's famous. He's relevant, but he's not relevant to us as Muslims in Islam. We don't personality worship people. We don't worship personalities. We don't do it. We don't do it with our scholars. So why would we do it with this guy? Listen, the scholars teach us our religion, and they teach us it properly. They teach us how to practice how to believe properly, according to the understanding of the Salaf. They teach us our religion, a matter of Jannah wa Nar. And we don't personality worship them. But Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, this one, that one, Trump, whoever else, they say something and now all of a sudden everything matters. Help me understand it. Help it make sense to me. I mean, because to me, it doesn't make any sense. You're right about telling business. However, if we leave people insulting our beliefs and we don't resist, it shows we have no backbone. It shows people that they can say whatever they want. Okay, again, I come right back to my initial question. Or not my initial question, but the most important question. What are you going to do? Hassan, what are you going to do about it? So he insults your religion. Now what? What are you going to do, Hassan? It's an honest question. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to care? He said something. I care. I'm doing something. I'm doing something. I'm typing something on the internet. I care. That's doing something. It's an honest question. What are you going to do about it? You going to go fight him? For instance, blasphemy in the peace generation, the opinion was you chop off their heads, so it shows we have to resist some insult. Okay, so you're going to go chop off Andrew Tate's head? What you going to do? Hassan, is that what you're going to do? It's an honest question. Hassan, what are you going to do? He insults your religion. The guy around the corner insults your religion. You gonna go around the corner and cut the guy's head off? Really? You just gonna join ISIS too? What? That's what I'm being honest here. I absolutely don't know what you're gonna do about it. What are we gonna do about it? Okay, you insult the religion. Now what? Dude insults my religion. You know what I'm probably gonna be like? I'm gonna be like this. Hey, literally, I'm not gonna care. You too, buddy. I'm gonna keep going. I'm literally gonna forget the guy in a day. I'm gonna tell the story. Hey, you know what? This guy, he was yelling at the Muslims like, your big beard, whatever. What do they call us? I don't even know what they call us nowadays. See, that's how much I don't even care. You big beard Muslim dude. I'm just gonna be like, okay. And I'll tell the story. Hey, you know, I was walking down the street. This guy just started yelling at me about my beard and stuff. And I thought it was kind of crazy. What did you think? Does that happen to you? It was kind of crazy, bro. Crazy. Weirdos. You don't make me shave my beard off. And he said something about my beard. My beard falls off automatically. Is it like Mojo or something? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bring me on the live to help understanding what you're conveying. You all right? You want to come on? Let's go, man. Let's go. Come on. You can come on. I don't care. Let me stop sharing this. Let me go invite. Copy the clipboard. Don't come on here being like one of them goofy trolls, man. I mean, just gonna make people hate trolls more as much as I do. So yalla, let's go, Hassan. Come on. There's the link right there, Hassan. Let's go. Or anybody for that matter. Just come on trying to be like a goofy troll. Because all it's going to do is like make people look bad. The trolls look bad. Which is good for me. Hey, Hassan. Salam alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, man. I'm always good, bro. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. How's things going?
Hey, alhamdulillah, I can't complain, man. MashaAllah. Mubarak. Allah has blessed me. So, you know, probably unworthy of his blessings. So, alhamdulillah. So what you got, bro? Tell me. Now help me understand. Because I don't get it.
Nah, nothing. It's what I was trying to essentially say is, and by the way, this isn't specifically about Andrew Tate himself.
Understood.
It's the whole notion of whoever says something, we should let them say, and we should overlook and not show some resistance. So if, for instance, you're walking down the street and somebody says, oh, you're Muslim, you're this or this or that. On a personal level, I think as Muslim, we should overlook that. We should forgive. But I'm saying if there's an individual that people look up to, so or a society or a group of people, and they keep spreading hate. Not that I'm saying Andrew spreads hate, but the notion that we should sit back. That so you're familiar with UK? We had an individual called Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
His political party was about hate towards Muslims. Now, if the Muslims just did not resist, didn't say anything, and they continued, their hatred and their group will keep on increasing, and that could in turn lead to some damages to the Muslim public.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. 2 questions. Had Muslims not resisted, do you think the outcome would be different? Do you think people are actually like in the UK, Tommy Robinson's group, those people who follow him, I'm familiar with them. Do you really think those are a group of people who are like, oh, the Muslims are saying stuff, I'm not going to go out there? Do they seem like that type?
It doesn't fully completely eradicates it, but that a little bit of resistance shows. If that guy's, for instance, I don't know, going around London Street or Birmingham or Luton, and he sees a Muslim sister, right? He's a Tommy Robinson fan, and he wants to take off the hijab, which has happened. You have now, out of 10 people of Tommy Robinson, one of them will just do it. He doesn't care. And out of some of them, because he sees there's some resistance, that might backlash. That just tiny bit resistance might stop him from taking that action.
Okay, but we're dealing with two different things here. Now, remember what I said this, and I actually covered this earlier. A person can say what they want about niqab and whatever else, but if you try to snatch it off my wife, you're probably going to get shot in the face. You see the difference? You can say what you want. Hey, yell all you want with your signs and your homies over there. But the moment you take action, hey, Allahu Akbar, jihad time.
No, that's my point. I'm saying they could be, if we don't say anything, we completely blank off, right? Everybody can say anything because like, oh, look at these Muslims, they have no back. Like Christians, for instance, like some of the videos in Andrew Tate, he was like, look at the Christians, they have no backbone, they just accept whatever they say. The Muslims, they stand up, and that he sees that as respectful. So anybody can desecrate Bible or Jesus or anything. Nobody says anything.
But let me come to my second question though. Where's Tommy Robinson now?
Well, I think he's got off to Spain, a bank robbery and whatnot. Nothing happened.
You see how
Qadar, 100%, that Allah doesn't allow it.
No.
But at the same time, I think as a test for Muslims, right? Like some of the if in the Salaf, right? I know there was a time of Khilafah and whatnot, but even later on, do you think like there will be Christians, Jews, or whoever fire worship, they could just go around and say something, and Muslims wouldn't?
But we're not in a Muslim state.
No, I'm saying
you couldn't say what you wanted.
Like, like in Pakistan, right? Or technically there isn't an Islamic state, right? They have some Sharia laws, but not entirely.
But it would be foolish to go and say something against Islam and Muslims in Pakistan. You'd be a damnable fool.
So I'm saying, if somebody says something, they will just get up and say something. Like this thing happened in India where the Modis, some of the PMs said something negative about Aisha radiallahu anha, and then there was a boycott from some of the Khalij countries, and they had to apologize and whatnot. Now, let's say if the government allowed it, as in they did say what they did, and the Muslims country didn't show any resistance, they'll be like, oh, next time, well, they're not showing anything, so that's the next Christian. We can just mock Jesus, like mock Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and whatnot. So I'm saying that little bit of resistance, this whole thing about, like the youth, right? You have the youth who leaves this woman. His friends know that he doesn't really care. His the sisters go out wearing this way, that way, and he doesn't care. Then those friends are gonna look down upon him. Everybody knows he's at the youth and whatnot. There is no respect for him. So because he's showing no resistance to the fact that why is this female folks are going out in this manner. Now, if he showed some, and even they left, his friends know that this guy is only the youth, but the sister, they're just too disagreeable. That small bit of resistance will still give him some respect. They wouldn't
I think that's a bad example. But here's the thing. All of this resistance and all this protesting and all these like things that the Muslims do, has it ever stopped non-Muslims from doing what they do in terms of like insulting or attacking Muslims in general? On a government level, we see that they literally, like in China, like the Rohingya and other places, we see that they literally outright attack the Muslims. And Muslims have been protesting and yelling and screaming and hollering. We got brothers taking off their shirts and throwing it at the Chinese embassy. The Chinese, they said, "Oh my, he took off a shirt and threw it. Well, let's let the Uyghur Muslims out of jail."
No, of course.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I agree. This whole notion about Muslims going to protest, and then, it doesn't show much, but there could be, some of those non-Muslims, aunties, or, some other folks sitting around there saying, okay, well, they said something about Islam, and look at these Muslims, they're standing up. I'm saying a little bit, there will be some resistance will show that these people have some backbone, and we can't just say whatever we want to.
But I think in general, it's known that we have backbone. I mean, no, there's no question about that. And that backbone doesn't come from. Nobody's afraid of our online yelling and screaming and hollering and whatever else. Nobody's afraid of that. You know what the reality is? And I'm just going to be direct here, and it's like an uncomfortable truth. Everybody's just scared of basically the Irhabiyin. People are afraid. the irhabiyin, the terrorists. They're afraid of terrorists.
Yeah.
We do have like those psychopaths, psychotic crazies in the ranks of the Muslims. They're afraid of those guys popping up in France or wherever else. You drew some cartoons of the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him. They're afraid of that. That's the reality. They're not afraid of us online and our street protests, because if they were, they wouldn't do it in the first place. They stopped. Why? Because of the psychopaths. They didn't stop because of online protests and people yelling and hollering in the streets. They're like, oh, the government literally came out and protected them. Like, oh, we have freedom of speech and what do they call it? I forgot what they call it, but like, you know, secular separation between church and state and this, that, the other. So it didn't change anything. But when the government saw, like, look, there's cats out here, and I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's okay under no circumstances. But I'm saying they literally knew they had to put a stop to it and say, look, y'all got to stop doing stuff, because now we're committing actual human resources, weapons, guns, whatever else to try to protect you guys from something that's completely unnecessary. That's when the respect comes in. I just saw a video, and I actually have it on my phone because I want to do a reaction to it. Some sisters showing more backbone than some of these brothers in the comment section. Some dude was trying to learn the Quran. I think it was in like it was one of the Nordic states, Sweden or something. Yeah. Sisters done ran this dude down, took the Quran from him, rolled his car over, hit his car, rolled it over, and then sped off. Dude had to crawl out of his car upside down. That's the stuff. I bet you that guy ain't gonna try to burn the Quran again. Some sisters, Navy sisters showed up and did him.
Yeah, no, it is sad. I mean, so far, I mean, in UK we haven't had such thing, but definitely, it was like that, you know, in India where there was a Niqabi sister. There was a mob of these Hindus that were attacking the college, and she was the only one chanting, you know, Allahu Akbar, and she had more of a backbone than some brothers there. So in situations like that, when you know if it gets rough, let it get rough. Nobody can say or hold you against it because you were in that position. So in that state, you should do something. You should, instead of this whole notion about commenting and just protesting and whatnot. I agree that not as much, still shows a little bit of resistance. But if you're in that situation and you don't show anything, none of this is worth it.
Yeah, but coming back to the whole Andrew Tate situation, does it really warrant a reaction?
I think I don't think he might have meant it. I mean, my problem was that because I think sometimes non-Muslims don't understand that if you directly insult something about Islam, it means you're insulting the Prophet of Allah, because that's the command of him. So for instance, if he says niqab dehumanizes women, then you're indirectly saying that Allah and Islam dehumanizes women, because that's the command of Allah.
I understand. I agree with you. My issue is this, and again, I tend to like the guy in general, with limits and boundaries, obviously, because, you know, we have wala wal bara between the Muslims and the non-Muslims. But a logical man would say to himself, he's talking about dehumanizing women via niqab, but his primary business that took him into his millions was what? Selling women,
that's it,
and their nudity. So it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, Andrew, did you really think this one through? Because you've taken away their humanity and you've made them into an actual commodity. You're selling them as a product. Is there anything more dehumanizing than selling another human? I don't care how free that person is. They can walk out the door and go wherever else. You are being sold. You're an individual and you're being sold. They've been selling women. So what's more dehumanizing than that? So to hear the statement, let's go worst case scenario, but given his past comments and the consistency in his behavior, I think there's maybe someone should ask him, like, is that what you really meant? How do you take that seriously as a logical human being and a rational human being?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he wouldn't. And that's my point. I think he might not have meant it. He might have just said it, you know. But yeah, I think that would be just nice, like because he has a lot of Muslim fan base, you know, a lot of brothers benefit from it, let's say, in one way or the other. And I particularly, for instance, like earlier I made the comment, if I'm doing business with someone and he doesn't respect my beliefs, or not even respect it, just negatively talks about it, I will not feel comfortable. That means I have
Yeah.
no reason.
But you know what? And it's not because I consider him a friend or anything. I just don't think he meant it in a negative way or the way that people intended. Because unlike most people commenting, I've actually spent face-to-face time with him. I've literally sat in the same room with him multiple times in Munich, in Luxembourg. I've met him and I've sat and I spoke with him, and he's told me his story. And his story deeply involves Muslims and Muslim. He had most people don't know this. This is the first time I'm gonna tell this. I've never asked his permission to tell the story, but I'm gonna tell it now. His coach that took him to be a world champion is a Muslim. He's a practicing Muslim. So the coach that taught him how to fight is a practicing Muslim, which is part of the reason why he has so much respect for Muslims. And he said this man was an instrumental part in his life after the death of his father. And we all know he speaks about his father very highly. And he says this man came and he was instrumental in part of who he was after the death of his father. So it would be really odd for him to start insulting the religion of a person that he holds so high and so dear to himself. It would be straight schizophrenic crazy. I see him as a lot of things, but I don't see him as like just nuts. And I don't see him a person who forgets anything, especially people that he likes and he loves. So it just seems a bit odd. Could the context be there? Yes, it could definitely be there. We're gonna go with worst case scenario. But does it make sense? No. I'm not defending him. I don't know what he intended. I haven't spoken to him about it. To be honest, I don't really care. Because it's like, until you become Muslim, what does it matter what you say about Islam and Muslims? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's just I agree that I think it's just the whole notion of leave, drop your weapons and guards and just let people do what they want.
No,
I think that can lead to a danger.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's like we can't care every time someone says something either. We can't just respond and react every single time someone says something, because that gives them the opportunity and a doorway to control you. If I knew your buttons and I could press them every time and you responded, who's in control of the situation?
Yeah, of
Me,
course.
because I can make you react how I want you to when I want you to. Is that the power we want to give these people?
Of course not. But like I said, individuals like again, like the example, if Trump says something, well, he's one individual that says, or someone else. But if you have Tommy Robinson, who actually feeds other people, and he has his group or political party on this basis, and they coming into power, that could be a lot more dangerous. So in regards to such instances, we have to show resistance.
Okay, but again, we showed resistance to Tommy Robinson. Muslims
And it
didn't.
worked. It worked to a certain extent. Where, for instance, he would have what's the like if he comes to when he would have his
a rally or a protest or whatever you want to call it
in London and other areas, would have actual Muslims go there. And even though they might be doing something, but the fact that they're there, it shows some presence, that Muslims are such individuals that you can't just say whatever you want and they won't say anything.
Okay. But let me ask you something. Out of all the times that the Muslims showed up, did it ever stop him from planning another rally? No. They were there ready for conflict. This is my point. I'm not saying, okay, show resistance, don't like them. Fine. I'll accept that. I mean, I don't think protesting is part of, the religion, but fine. People want to do that. They want to do that. I understand this is human nature. But my thing is, it's like, it doesn't really change anything. And Tommy Robinson, for all that he did and all that the Muslims who protested did, here we are still with the fastest growing religion in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just make too many babies and too many wives, but that's different. But actually, the thing in America, so for instance, when black people, this whole thing about systemic racism and police brutality and BLM, in that regards, if the African American did not show any resistance and whatnot, they just let whatever they happen, it would have never come to such.
I think it's very different. Because you were denied actual fundamental human rights. I mean, generally, unless it's France. In the West, there's really nobody telling you you can't practice Islam, and like forcibly stopping you from, you know, practicing a religion. I mean, I think this is a slightly different example. I understand the example that you're making, but this was one of like basic human rights. We Muslims, where are Muslims not given basic human rights? I mean, where it's like you can't practice the religion based upon Islam in the West. It's not really there. You see what I'm saying? These are just
Yeah,
people
that's
saying
not
mean things.
systematic. That's not
These are just people
systematic.
saying
Salam
mean things that
alaikum.
we don't like.
No, it's not that I'm saying that. I'm saying that there was systemic racism and Muslims are facing that. I'm just talking about the point of resistance, that they stood up and they said, well, actually, it's enough, whatnot. And because of
Okay,
that,
let
I mean,
me
it must
get
have
in.
happened.
Let me get in here. Even in Islamic State, in the perfect conditions with the perfect, everything is perfect. You can't enforce the law by your hand as a Muslim, as an individual. And by the way,
100%.
that's how Islamic empire used to be. Even if there's non-Muslim say something bad about Islam, you can't like just react individually. You should take him to authority, and like the authorities will punish him. So you can't just do any emotional reaction. It's not a jungle. That's in the perfect Islamic state. So imagine you're living in non-Muslim state, following their laws, and you want to react. And from another like point of view, the victimhood mindset like indicates. I wrote that in the comment. The victimhood mindset indicates a high neuroticism. High neuroticism usually mostly it is with women and weak people. Women and weak people. So, and it is not productive. It is not productive. There is a part of Muslims that they need to be victim all time, and they feel they have to be victim all time, and that will never ever be productive. So somebody says something that I don't like, or something bad about Islam, and I'm gonna lose my mind over it. You're gonna lose your mind every day. Like you will have no mind. So you can't react because their their speech is based on your reaction, as Abuamerican was saying. So they are waiting you to get triggered. So if you get triggered, that will fulfill them, and they will know what is the button to push when they want to trigger you. Looking at overall, as I mentioned before, Islamic is taking over, and it will be the dominant religion of the planet Earth in the next 50 years, and that's inevitable. That's inevitable. You can't do anything about it. No, nobody can do anything about it. So some people do not like this idea, like the far right French people. So they do not like that. Islam is taking over Europe, is taking over the world. They don't like that. They are secular pigs. So they do not like it. They do not like the numbers. They do not like what sociologists saying about the replication rate of Muslim being like 3 times to 6 times more than other religion. They do not like this idea. So they will keep pushing, try to trigger you and to motivate other people to hate the religion. But that will never change anything. It never does. It never does. It will keep spreading.
So in a nutshell, what, if I've understood you correctly, is that we give no reaction.
Well, depend. I personally, I give no reaction if my reaction was not productive. So if somebody was
I agree.
shouting something bad, yeah. So complaining and moaning and shouting and getting triggered and give emotional reaction and like shouting, that will never change anything at all. So why you bother yourself and raising your blood pressure, like damaging your health, risking everything? So
Good
why?
point.
You can't change it. You can't change. It's like somebody complaining about the weather. It is very hot. It is very hot. It's very cold. It's very cold. It will never change. Like it will never change. Suck it and deal with it. If my reaction will be productive, like if I'm famous figure, I'm content creator, and I have wide audience, and I heard something, I will go and criticize it in a respectful way to leave an effect on people. But if everybody, like, I can't react while it is not productive. I do not. I'm just like saving my effort and my energy.
And this is my point right here. Coming back to it, because we make a good point, and I mean I totally understand what you're saying, bro. My thing is this: I understand people are upset. I do, and fine, accept it. But it's like, why are they on my channel complaining? Because I'm like, yeah, my Islam is rock solid, alhamdulillah. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? These are people who want something to happen, and they're talking about something happening, but they're making something happen in the comment section of Abuamerican, and it's Andrew Tate who made the statement. Do you see what I mean? It just,
Yeah.
and then when you go to Andrew Tate's videos, you go to his TikTok, you go to here, you go to there, these people are ghosts. You don't see them anywhere.
No, that's the place where they should comment to be like, well,
I agree.
that. But I think for me was because you said that we shouldn't resist. That I felt like I have to disagree.
What's the resist? I mean, when I say we shouldn't resist,
It's not
I mean, what does that
resistance
mean?
when you get upset. It is not resistant when you get upset. You just get upset, like your blood is boiling and nothing changed. That's not resistance.
My thing is this. I'm not really sure why we should care. This is coming back to my point, my initial point. It's like, why do we care? Is your honest to goodness truth? I know I already know the answer. It's a rhetorical question. Is your Islam going to change tomorrow because he said something about niqab?
No. It's not about that. It's the fear. It's just the fear that. By the way, we're not just talking about Andrew Tate. Like you said, that could be just him mistaking or out of context. But again, the word resistance, if we let it, however that could be, for instance, commenting under or throwing an egg at a PM and whatnot, it's just like showing something. We're not just people that walk over. I mean,
but is he walking over us though?
I think that insult in itself, that I mean, because we believe Islam is a divine religion, and that's what the problem is. So if anybody insults that, it insults the whole ummah, it insults everything. And they might think, because a lot of Western people, they think, well, every religion is like Christianity, right? But we believe it to be quite sacred. Insulting that is insulting everything about it. And
okay, yes, no, I agree. But again, I mean, we keep coming back full circle. At what point, anywhere, at any time, has any of this action made a difference?
I think it might have. I don't know examples on my hand, but
I mean their actions against us as Muslims, as an ummah.
Do you want to know what is resisting, like real resistance?
I'm saying, yeah.
Like when Muslims boycott
stop us as Muslims.
Yeah, when Muslims boycott buying from France and they lost around 1 billion, that's resisting. That's resistance. That's productive. Yeah, it's not shouting and whining about it and commenting and like keyboard warriors. No. Do something, like an actual something that can affect them. That's resistance. Shouting about it is not resistance.
what I was saying is that I mean, I could have misunderstood when Abuamerican said that we should just let them say what they say, because at the time of the Prophet they would say it. If somebody takes them and be like, well, let them say it, then they will just kind of feel like, well, we don't even need to do that. We don't need to boycott it, because if you show resistance, well, it's not going to change anything. But my thing is that we should still resist at some levels.
Yeah, boycott on a country level. That's you're boycotting for example, the French product. Yeah, because I can live without it, and it's a country that their policies support to insult Islam. Yeah, but as an individual, like as Andrew Tate, and by the way, I didn't mention that Andrew Tate have a lot of respect for Islam since the beginning of time, and he mentioned it like over 100 times. He mentioned Islam positively. And when he raised in Luton, he have a lot of Muslim friends. He have a lot of respect for Islam in general. But when he says something about niqab, that's not consistent. And in last, he's a pimp, and he's individual. He's a pimp. He make his first million out of selling his woman's sexuality. So I do not really care what he says.
Yeah, look. See, I'm making a point with this picture. This is my wife's Instagram account. That's me in the background, and that's her in the foreground. And tomorrow we're gonna be outside just like this. We're probably gonna go riding tomorrow. We're gonna be out just like this. My point is, when I say it doesn't matter, I mean tomorrow I'm gonna be like this. Next week we're gonna be like this. I have 3 niqabi wives. They're not gonna stop wearing niqab. It doesn't really make a difference. When he says something about niqab, I'm just like, okay, whatever, dude. Do you see what I'm saying? No matter what he does, it's not going to change the fact that 3 of my wives are going to wear niqab.
I would like to clarify, but like I said,
Yes.
I'm not
Sorry, let me answer
saying
that question.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Bagnum, yes, she wears her cover every day. I have 3 wives that cover their face every day that they leave the house. Yes. And it's not going to change with Andrew Tate saying
No, of
something.
course not. It shouldn't change. I think that would just show how shallow and weak, that individual would be. That if somebody says something, they should just change it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying general this topic of letting people say what they say. I mean, he's an individual. That's different.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't want Muslims to get this into their head that whoever says something, right, someone well known, on a government level or whatever, and we shouldn't just say anything. We should just let it be. I think that's not good.
I do hear what you're saying, but at the same time, we're still kind of like, we do all this stuff and it doesn't really make a difference. And I'm not saying that we just like, okay, sorry, Mr. So-and-so, we just like, I think everybody knows that I'm not like the weak mentality, behavior type of person. But
Me, it just came across like, that's why I wanted to clarify, like, because when you say don't say anything, don't show resistance, then it's just like, well, okay, you do what.
I don't think I said don't show anything or don't show any resistance. I just, I have to wonder why we care so much, because it's just like, you know what I mean? I don't see the importance in it. To me, it's not like it's not going to have an effect. It's not going to influence Muslims around the world to change their behaviors in regards to niqab. France was a big deal. France was a big issue that came from the government level, but even then, what happened? We had brothers who had millions of dollars. He's one brother, actually. He's not even brothers. He's a brother with millions of dollars. And he's like, if you get arrested as a sister or you get fined for wearing a niqab, I'll pay that fine for you. So it's like, we still have the means to resist. That right there is resistance. This brother took the higher in terms of what Allah gave him from his mouth, from his money. And he put his money where his mouth is. It's like, sisters, wear your niqab. And if you get a fine, mail it to me. I'll pay it to you. I'll pay it. If I had millions, I'd do it. You know what I'm saying? I'd do it for our friends, sisters. Yeah. So to me, that's taking action. That right there, that's quwwah. That's power. It's like, we can do this. We're Muslims. We can do this. Why don't we have a Muslim fund for sisters out there in France who are going to get fined? Why don't we Muslims do this? They'll complain about the French government. They'll get online. They'll protest, whatever else, but they won't put their money where their mouth is. Put together like some sort of fund somewhere that's under control of, I don't know, something neutral. And it's like, when sisters have this stuff happen, it can be paid. That's action. But this internet stuff that people are doing, what is this? It means nothing. And when the French government sees, like, dang, you know what? We've been finding these sisters and these Muslims just been coming up off this money. They don't even care. How much power do you think they're going to feel? How powerful do you think they're going to feel in the face of that?
And I agree, because that brother took that resistance. I just don't want Muslims thinking that we shouldn't show anything, let people say what they want. That brother, if he went with that notion, well, let them say what they want. It doesn't really bother me.
I'm just saying we need to show real power, and that's real power. That's a power move.
Yeah, I'm about it.
This stuff like, you know, this online stuff and complaining on, well, I just find it like really just like, okay, so you don't have a plan, or you're afraid to execute a plan. I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general, and therefore we're gonna switch to whining instead. This is why I was asking, like, okay, Andrew Tate says something bad. Now it doesn't have to be you; it could be anybody who has a complaint in those sections. All right, what are they gonna do? What's the plan now? Andrew said something bad about Muslims in Islam. What's the plan now? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the best you can do is take attention away from him, because he's good at what? He's good at collecting the attention of people. That's why he's who he is right now on the internet. That's why he's probably the most searched, most talked about person on the internet right now. He's good at collecting attention. And if you don't have the power to actually take action of any sort, then it's power in ignoring and taking away attention, just like he has power in gaining attention. Do you see? Even in this stream, he's gained a degree of power because he has us discussing him. Do you see? It's a power. So what can you do in the face of that? Because it's a passive move. It's an active statement, but it's a passive move. So what you do, you ignore it the same way, and then it disappears into nothing. But someone dug this up from last year. And they made a big
By the
deal.
way, Abuamerican, like let me say something about Andrew Tate. I do not believe that Andrew Tate have an intention regarding like intentionally saying something bad about Islam, because that's not consistent with his behavior. He have a lot of respect of Islam, and he's not an idiot. He's very smart guy. He have an IQ over 145. That's genius level IQ. And he understand that Muslims are 2 billion around the world. In every single fucking country that you will visit for the rest of your life. He understand that. He don't want to make enemies with Muslim. Like, at least that's not his intention. So maybe it is like a tiny mistakes. It is not by evil intention or a bad intention from him. Don't you think so, Abuamerican?
You know what? To be honest, I don't know, and to be honest, I don't care. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it was intentional. Like I said, his story involves.
Yeah, that's my point.
The Muslim. So I don't think it was, but at the end of the day, even if it was, it doesn't matter to me. Because at the end of the day, you know, Islam. Mo Ali, you've been there. Just you just been chilling, Mo. What's up, man?
Right, I'm gonna go and start talking about it. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for stopping in, Hassan.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you guys hear me?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Loud and clear.
Inshallah, you guys are well. Abuamerican, thank you for letting me on. Kareem, he's Arabic like me. I'm also Arabic. I'm Egyptian, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Most welcome.
Habibi. So I'm sorry for not showing my face. I apologize about that, but I did show my face in the backstage. So yeah, I just have a question. It's an off-topic question. I know that this live stream is about Andrew Tate.
No. It's the Even Phillip show. So ask what you want, bro. I just, generally, I plan on having a topic. Go ahead, bro. Drop it.
Yeah, actually, I started following you like 3 months ago when you were with the live stream with Mehdi. So yeah. So mashallah, like, thank you very much for all your advice. I've benefited a lot from you. So
alhamdulillah, I'm glad.
So I do have a question, and I think this question, a lot of young men like myself, they do have it, and they do face this issue.
Okay.
So I'm 23 years old. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm working. I'm making decent money, and I do have my own apartment.
Okay.
But the problem is that I'm afraid of female nature. What does that mean? Okay, so I've been watching Mehdi. I've been watching you, of course, Coach Kareem. I haven't been watching him, but I'm pretty sure he's related to your content. I've been watching, what's his name, the American black guy. What's his name on YouTube? AMS.
Okay.
So I've been watching those people for like 2 years straight, and I'm 23 now. The problem is that because now I understand female nature.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how women are naturally promiscuous, and I understand that, like, now I'm in a point that I can never trust any woman. Wallahi al-azim,
But
like,
that's wrong, Mo. That's wrong, Mo. They are not naturally promiscuous. They have the capability.
can I just finish my question, please? And then please, Lenny, please, I would definitely like get your perspective on this. But I think this issue a lot of young men have. Yani, now, even if you're making a decent salary, if you have a decent job, decent core, and you're good in all aspects of life, how can I be sure that this woman will not cheat on me? How can I be sure if I'm not like working 12 hours, 5 days, 6 days a week, I will come back home early from work and I find there was somebody else? How can I be sure that she's not talking to somebody on the internet? How can I be sure if she's not in the store, she would meet this cute guy and he would, like, I don't know, like, give her a nice compliment and she will give him her. How can I be sure that she will not cheat on me? How? With all these videos that I've been watching, like, wallah, I know that I might sound crazy, but that's how I think.
Okay, mind if I jump in here? So what we got here, bro, is this is something I talked about. It's like, this is where red pill, in my humble opinion, like, actually goes and makes a lot of people black pill. To where they, and when I say black pill, I'm not saying black pill in terms of like behavior and height and whatever in particular looks. I say black pill in terms of nihilism. So it makes people nihilistic about the nature of women. Female nature is a double-edged sword. Obviously, their reproductive strategy is bifurcated. That means it's split into two different things. And when you understand that, which you say you understand female nature, you understand it. But now what's lacking is, how do you benefit from it? You see? Yes, thank you very much, Jawad. This is exactly this term I coined. It's called red pill rod. So now you understand female nature, but how do you use it to your benefit? So you have to understand the modern world. I don't know how it is. Are you in Egypt right now, or are you like in the West or something like this?
Yeah, I'm in Egypt, but I work for an American company, so I do like work with a lot of Americans, and I understand the Western society. So yeah.
Fair. Okay, so now you understand the modern woman and what is going on. So we have to look at the female bifurcated reproductive strategy, alpha bangs, alpha seed, beta need. Yeah, I'm trying not to use the curse words, even though I was cussing earlier. But anyway, so now you understand that the beta need has been reduced, which leaves what as the predominant reproductive strategy for her? Alpha seed. So in the West, this is why so many guys are out here learning game, because the beta need is almost zero. There's almost no need in terms of financial support for a man. And so what we're looking at is a shift from men having to be good men to being good at men again. And that's really the baseline of female reproductive strategy in terms of like real reproduction. She gets the beta need, but she wants that alpha seed. You see, so what do? For you, what this means is you need to focus on being the best version of yourself. And this is not for the woman. This is for you. We say this all the time. You do this stuff for you. Women do not cheat on the bad boy with the good dude. They cheat on the good dude with the bad boy. So you understand this.
100%.
Yes. When I talk to my wife right here, I'm the guy that she would cheat on with, but she's married to me. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm the guy she would cheat with, but she's married to the guy she would cheat with.
But I don't see you as a bad boy, Abuamerican. I see you as a good guy.
I'm not a bad boy. I'm a good dude. What am I? She knows what's up. She knows what's up. She knows there's a very, very long list of very randy women who would jump in her spot the moment she gets out of line. Because why? Because I'm the guy that women would cheat with, believe it or not, especially as a black guy in Germany. And I'm walking around, I'm muscular, I'm confident, I'm not scared of anybody. I am well-mannered and I'm polite because I try to be a good guy also. But I'm sorry,
but can I say something? Because I did watch a video that you did last week, and you actually said, and I'm pretty sure you said this in this video, like a video that you did last week, where you said, well, you women, why are you leaving this good guy that is treating you well and you're chasing after the bad boy? I'm pretty sure you did this in the video. So you're
Indeed.
with me with that, right?
Indeed. But this is why I'm telling brothers, it's almost more important to be good at being a man than it is to being a good man. Now, our issue as Muslims is we have Islam first of all, foremost to practice, which makes it mandatory for us to be good men. But the part that we've missed
There's
is
an echo, Muhammad. If you can mute your mic, there's an echo, Muhammad, from your side.
yeah. So what we're missing now here as Muslims is, and we see this a lot all over the internet. If you look all over the internet, everybody, and there's no problem with being righteous, and there's no problem with being pious. Absolutely no problem. Whatever, be as righteous and as pious as you can. But brothers have acted like that's the end all be all in terms of your masculinity as a Muslim man. The Sahaba knew how to sword fight. They knew how to shoot arrows. They knew how to run a man through with a spear, and they would literally do it. They were absolutely good at being men. See, we're in a reverse situation now. Those were men who were good at being men to the point that they were absolute like savage, where the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, had to come and teach them how to use the restroom, how to properly slaughter animals, how to treat women properly, not to bury your daughters. They were the rawest of men. So they had to learn to be good men. Your challenge is learning how to be good at a man, to get that savage out of you. And it's in you. You're a man. That savage is in there somewhere. So when you become being good, when you get good at being a man, what's she going to cheat on you for? Who's she going to go to? You're good at being a man. You're the guy she wants to cheat with. You got that alpha seat she wants.
Yeah. Can I just say something? So what I got from you is if you're a man and you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on making money, you're taking care of your looks, taking care of your personality, taking care of your body, and basically making yourself 100% non-cheatable, basically. Because like you said, who she's going to cheat on you with, a woman will not cheat on me. That's your point.
I mean, by and large, it's impossible to say that a woman will cheat on you.
That's my point. That's why I'm afraid. That's my point.
You can't stop that. You can't stop that. Women have been cheating since forever.
But that's my point. If I did do what you said, like, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry if I'm cutting you off. Okay, even if I did do what you said, taking care of my personality, like just focusing on myself, making money, all that. How can I be sure that she's just going to be attracted to me 24/7? How?
You can't. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Has this not always been a thing? Why are there rules on how to deal with adulterers in Islam? Because they've always existed from amongst the men and the women. This is why we have stoning in Islam, right?
That's a good point.
So this has never not been a thing. There has never been a guarantee that adultery wouldn't happen. That's why we have the rules of Islam on adultery. It's a fact of life that we're going to have to come to terms with. It's a fact of life so much so that Allah put and instituted very harsh punishments out for the person who does it, male or female. What you need to do is continue to better yourself and have options. And trust me, your woman knows when you have options. You know what's going to happen when she's like being goofy and you start smelling and this is why I'm writing the book, Vetting in Marriage right now. I'm writing, I was going to do Vetting Guide 2, but this is 1.5, Vetting in Marriage, because there's signs that they put out there. And when she starts putting out those signs, guess what? You're going to know how to react. And women, Patrice O'Neill said it right. Women will stay righteously when they understand you have options and you're more than willing to let them go. They will stay with absolute righteousness. But the moment you become that needy guy and she understands, oh man, I'm his best option, guess what? You automatically knock yourself down so many ranks that she has no choice but to look for another guy. So that fear already is a danger to getting yourself cheated on. You see what I'm saying? You're already coming from a scarcity mentality and mindset. Okay, yeah. You know, I have a wife here. She can cheat. I'm looking at her right now. She, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw her out the house and I'm going to replace her with 2 other women. And as pretty as she is, they're going to be younger and they're going to be prettier. And she knows I can get younger and prettier. She knows it.
Bro, like, the problem is I'm naturally a nice, good guy, so I don't even want to do this. But if a woman does this to me, I would do what you just said. That's the problem.
Still young,
I'm a nice guy.
American.
I'm not a nice guy.
Let me give my take. Let me give my take if you don't mind, Abuamerican.
Arabic with me, and he's in the country. Maybe he can like give us a good perspective, and mashallah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ideal. If you can just mute your mic because there's an echo. Yeah, thank you. Uh, I'll give you I'll give you a reference to get back on. On my channel, there's a playlist which is my weekly show. It's called Habit Why, the awareness pill. Like I got around 42 episodes there. There's one of the episodes is called Karahiyatun Nisa. It is called the hatred of women. And I talked in this episode for more than 1 hour from psychological perspective, breaking down the reasons for men, especially in the red pill sphere, during the red pill rage. What you are in right now, we call it the red pill rage, because like the truth is not digestible. It's not sweet. Like the information that we give, it is not sweet, and it goes against the mainstream media, which is every single man been bombarded with since he start, since 5 years old, let's say. So you can get back to that karahiyat nisa habbat wa'i. I talked about this for 1 hour or more than 1 hour. And I deal with guys like you in the private consultation, by the way, like several times I did it. The best advice is that I can give you, while you're still new, like you need more time to understand female nature and the intersexual dynamic in depth. But the red pill rage, this is temporary. This is temporary feeling that I've been to, Abu American been to, everybody been to. So we've been through that phase, and like we get over it. Because when you understand the game is harsh, you have to master it. For example, you just learned about the chess rules. It is hard. It is a hard game, especially if you're playing with professional people. What you're gonna do? You're gonna whine about it or practice and be better at playing the game. So the burden of performance is on you as a man. And I noticed something else, Muhammad, which is the one-itis mindset, the one-woman mindset. Like if there's a woman, and the probability that it's probable that she will cheat on me, that my life will be destroyed. I will suicide. The life will end. I will be fucked up. No, no. There is a lot of them. There is a lot of them around the next corner, as Abuamerican say. Every I'm quoting Richard Cooper here. Shout out to Richard Cooper, our friend. Every single day, there is a woman turned 18 in every country, every single day. So you can always replace the bad, the bad woman. And by the way, there is no inevitability. There is no certainty. Certainty is the mother of foolishness, as Einstein was saying. So there is no certainty when you deal with people. There is a probability. If you are an investor, I will ask you this question. If you are an investor and you got two deals, a deal which is 50-50 risk of losing or getting profit, and another deal is 95% probability of getting a profit and 5% of risk losing. What deal will you take, Muhammad?
Of course, the one that I'm guaranteed to have a profit more.
Okay, it is not guaranteed. It's 95%. It's most probably.
Then
So
of course,
what you do as a man, yeah. So what you do as a man, you increase the probability of loyalty from the woman and decrease the probability of finding another unique formula of man that she have everything she need from. And you can increase always, like that's what Abu American here mentioned, uh, which is the competition and anxiety. The competition and anxiety, when women, that put women in line in general. By the way, my God bless her, like God bless her soul, rahmatullah alayha. My grandmother, when she was 82 years old, she told me, like in the last year of her life, she told me, always, always, a woman is the best punishment for another woman. عاقب النساء بالنساء, which is punish a woman with another woman. She was 85 years old. She had 11 kids. And like she's been on this earth for 85 years old. She told me that the best solution for women, this behavior is another woman. She will get in line. So competition and anxiety keep women in line in general. And she will know, as Abuamerican was saying, if she tried to do anything else, you can replace her in 1 minute. So she will get in line to be
because she knows that you have options because you're a high value man. So what I got from both of you, and thank you, and thank you very much, Kareem, for your advice, and thank you, Abuamerican. I'm sorry for taking a lot of your time.
No, it's good, man.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think
just here's the thing,
a lot of young men are facing, not just me. I do think that.
And let's before you go, let's come back to one thing. You know, don't. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You know, you're a young guy, and so you don't actually want to do these things to want to replace a woman with 2 women. I prefer not to replace my wife.
Me too. I just want one woman.
She leaves me no option. If she makes a decision to do something goofy, I have been left with no option but to replace her. Do you see what I mean? This is her choice. The decision is in her hands. So she can make the choice to be my woman and stay my woman and stay loyal, or she can make the choice to do something goofy that she's gonna regret. They always regret it every single time, especially when they get caught. And then I can replace somebody younger.
Some women regret when they get caught.
They regret getting caught. They regret getting caught.
True.
This is my point. They regret getting caught.
You don't care.
Yeah. So for me, it's just a matter of, okay, fine. You lose your provisioner. You lose the guy who's better than most of the guys out there. You're not going to get the guy that you cheated with because that's not what he's there for.
Yeah.
And you're on your own. And then Abuamerican goes on to, as she has seen, 21 and 22-year-old women.
Yeah, well, what they don't get, like, I'm pretty sure you said this in your last video as well. You said, well, he just wants you for your body, and then he's just gonna leave you. Like, I don't understand what is so attractive with a bad boy. I don't understand why they're so attracted to a bad boy. It's just insane, man. They like to be ignored. They like to be disrespected.
The dark triad, Muhammad. The dark triad, Muhammad. There's a lot of studies like acknowledging that the dark triad, the narcissistic tendency, the psychopathic tendencies, and the Machiavellian tendencies. That's so attractive in men, because they can provide security better than other men. That's what is attractive about bad boys.
I'm naturally a nice guy. I'm naturally a good guy. But if you disrespect me, I will definitely defend myself, and I will definitely. Yeah, I get.
You're still young.
Well, I mean, that's good. You set boundaries, and that's the mentality you have to have with your women. If they don't think there's any boundaries, they're going to keep going. Women are not creatures that don't understand like limits and if there's no limits or boundaries, they have none. And this applies in all areas. You know, people think this is only like cheating, whatever else, and like, you know, setting frame in a relationship. I'm not taking the conversation off course, but this is sexually also. Women have limits. Men are more horny. Women are more adventurous. This is in everything. It's the nature of how Allah has created them. If you don't give them boundaries, they won't have any.
So the only thing that I can do is just, as you said and Kareem said, maximize my ways of not getting cheated on, which is basically increasing my wealth, increasing my personality, my looks, taking care of my body, basically being the most value man I've ever can be. So I don't get cheated on, because it's not guaranteed that she's not going to cheat on you anyways, because that's their nature.
No, but you can reduce it significantly, and then keeping your eye on her and keep vetting your woman up until you die. There's no breaks. Unfortunately, you don't get a day off. There's no vacation, and you keep your eye on her, especially in the 21st century. You know?
That's man, yeah. Thank you guys, but I still don't like. I wish I could have found like a better. And I'm really grateful for your efforts and everything. But
you can be happy, bro. Trust me, you can be happy, but you know, you do have to be vigilant. Don't let anybody. This isn't just all doom and gloom. I'm quite happy in my marriage, you know, but I'm not afraid of her cheating because I don't have to scare. She's just gone. That's it.
Even though you know that, I'm not talking about your woman. If I'm not trying to be disrespectful, that women, it's not guaranteed that they will not cheat.
Yeah.
Even though it's this.
Yeah. Indeed.
Thank you.
Okay. GZ with the $5 super chat. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abuamerican. What is the threshold for knowing? Naam, inshallah. Barakallahu feek for coming on, bro. What is the threshold for knowing what women are like a bent rib and when to let a wife go who doesn't obey you? I'm not really sure if I understand the first half of the question. What is the threshold for knowing that women are like a bent rib? I mean, the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that women are like a bent rib. You try and straighten it, you'll break it, meaning you'll end up in divorce. I mean, this is why I wrote the vetting guide. And just let me jump to another comment and come back to your comment. This person right here, he says the answer, where is it right here? He says, I'm astounded you gave the advice on something, but never mentioned you should go for a religious woman with good deen and family. I mean, if this stupid person had read my vetting guide, then he would know that the first thing I said to do in my vetting guide is to marry a woman with religion and test her religion. But they're too stupid to know this. So that's the first step, is understanding that she adheres to the religion. Read the vetting guide. Don't be an idiot like this guy. GZ, you're not an idiot. I'm just taking shots at him. So anyway, obviously you're not a moronic fool like this person, and you understand that Abuamerican in his vetting guide has automatically said that first off, check her religion. Now, unfortunately, because of the influence of Western society and feminism and gynocentrism in the West, even being religious is not a guarantee, which takes you on further into vetting. Now you have to look at the relationship with her family, her father. I mentioned this in the vetting guide. Also, I went into great detail with this, that a reflection of how she is with her father, how she speaks of him, and all these types of things, is a good indicator of how she's going to treat you. Not only that, but a good indicator of how she's going to treat you is to pay attention, if you get the opportunity somehow, to see how his wife treats her father. So if you get to meet the family or whatever else, or you get to spend some time with them, and if there is a chance that you actually get to see how the mother and the father interact, you will have an idea of how she will potentially interact with you. Because generally, people tend to follow their models of reproductive success, meaning their parents. And if the model of reproductive success is mom gets to insult dad, and dad takes it like a clown, okay, baby, oh yeah, I'm that stupid fool, sorry, honey, then she's probably, as the daughter grown up seeing that, and she's going to accept that that's normal behavior in their family, and it's not considered dysfunctional. Same thing with a son. You can actually see this as a woman. If you don't want a weak, soft man, see how the father is in regards to the mother. Is the father weak and is he soft? Guess what? His reproductive model of success is the father being weak, and so he will most likely respond in a similar way to you as a woman. And if that's not what you're looking for in a man, a guy who's just going to be someone you can run over, then it's probably best to see how the father and the mother interact with one another. Now, obviously, we're not talking about, because obviously people are going to now go to extremes and say, oh, Abuamerican said you marry a guy who beats women or some crazy stuff, because Muslims be extrapolating some of the dumbest stuff out of my statements. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying marry a savage. But I am saying, if you want a dominant man who's competent and confident, and he's running the show confidently and competently, then look at how the father and the mother are together. So this is actually something that could be done on both sides of the same spectrum in terms of the gender slide scale, or whatever you want to call it. So the threshold of knowing that she's like a bent rib. This is not so simple. This is why, and I caught a lot of flack for it, but this is why I would do my field vetting tests, in terms of like, how does she respond to particular behaviors, inputs? What is her pushback to my inputs? I gave the example of the backpack in one video. There was a sister I met in Frankfurt. I told her to hold my heavy drone backpack. She didn't complain. I just hung out in the bathroom, sent some text messages. I didn't have to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, spent some time in there just being goofy, took some photos in the mirror like I was some chick or something. I would be like, just because I need to spend some time there. I came out, then I acted like I was going to take the backpack off of her. And I said, oh, you know what? And it was cold outside. I said, I want to get a hat. I lost mine. And it's true, I did lose my hat. And then I made her carry the backpack. Now I didn't make her, but I wanted to check her response. It's not a matter of I wanted to torture a woman, but I did want to see, like, what is her response going to be? It costs her nothing. Doesn't cost her money, doesn't cost her dignity. So she's not losing respect and she's not losing money. But it's just a mild inconvenience. How is she going to respond? She responded positively. Then I took the backpack off of her. Second example, I met a Sudanese girl in Dortmund. I went into the store. It was the same brand store. It was a Kaufhof, and I wanted to go into Kaufhof. And this was I had a real need to go in there. And I said, hey, you know what? If you're going to wait here, because she said, I don't want to go inside. I said, if you're going to wait here, hold my hat, please. They sell this here. So I gave her the hat, and she was like, oh, no, I'm not holding that. And I was like, ooh, okay. So you see, I had a very good foundation to establish her behavior and how she would respond to me and my needs. It cost her nothing to hold a hat. It didn't cost her money. It didn't cost her respect or her dignity. But to do something expressly to my benefit, that was a problem for her. So in terms of the bent rib part right there, you could understand how your marriage would look according to these two women. If I said to the first girl, she was a Moroccan, I said, hey, baby, can you go get me that? She'd probably go do it. If I said to this second one, the Sudanese girl, I said, hey, baby, can you go get this? She's probably going to be like, no, get up and get it yourself. But your feet don't work and all that goofy stuff you hear these angry sisters talking about online. You can test these things, and you can do this also in face-to-face meetings with family. So even if the family is there, you can still do these types of tests. You just have to develop more refined ones that are appropriate for the setting. It's completely possible to do. So in that sense, you can check like how bent the rib is. Now, in terms of letting a wife go who doesn't obey you, Allahu Alam, there's a lot here. The woman who I let women go on kabair. It's an instantaneous, just look, you got to go. If you're like, I had a wife that was on cocaine. I didn't know she was on cocaine. And when I found out, she was gone. I had a wife that was on some goofy stuff in terms of like conversations that were inappropriate with non-mahram men. She was gone. I mean, that's not a kabair, but it's like, these are major. It's like, if I accept that behavior, then it's a kabair for me because now I become dayuth. You see what I mean? So things that put me in a bad position in front of Allah, which are almost all of our actions, because you are accountable in front of Allah for your wife, but Allah gives you authority over your wife. And if she doesn't obey that authority, then it leaves you in the position of being accountable for her disobedience. And if it's a major sin, now you have no power. But Allah did give you power, and that power is divorce. So now you have the ability to take action. You can't force her. You can't arm wrestle her to the ground. You can, but it's just going to look bad. You know, you're just beating up on a woman for nothing, and she's going to resist you even harder. So you don't have the power to like actually overpower her. It's not even something that's allowed in Islam. You know, you Superman punch her from across the room because she did something that you can't get her to stop doing. I mean, where's the permissibility of this? It's not there. So now what you are left with is, look, you either start to respond properly to the book and the sunnah and my boundaries, or I'm going to have to let you go. So
she
for
was
me,
her
my
right of
boundaries,
nafaqa, Abuamerican.
yeah.
She
So
was
my
her right of
boundary,
nafaqa, which is nashid.
yeah. So for me, there's limits there. And, you know, this is why I came up with the vetting guide, because when I got good at like, you know, getting women to marry me, I still ended up with a bunch of divorces. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I started realizing inside the marriage, okay, what are my mistakes? And then when I started fixing my mistakes, I started realizing I still wasn't getting the results I wanted. Then I started thinking like, okay, I'm doing everything right. I'm getting the women. I'm doing my part right. What's going on here? Why are things still falling apart? Why am I still getting divorces? Then I started looking at the women. And I'm like, these are bad women. Then the vetting guide came in. So this is why, you know, I have the vetting guide. And this is, you should, you know, set your own, what do you call it? Boundaries. And limits. The book and the sunnah, first and foremost. And then after that, whatever you find personal, I have personal ones that, you know, they're not outside of the bounds of the book and the sunnah, but it's like, you know, it's probably not necessary to let a woman go over it, but I just have my personal limits and boundaries based upon, you know, how I was raised. It's nothing that's like in contradiction to Islam, but, you know. So how do you know when to let a wife go? When she is just hardcore disobedient and refuses to change, especially on matters of Islam that are very, very important. They can land you and her both in hot water. I think that answers your question, right?
Yeah.
Abdul Malik, I don't mind letting
question.
you got to bring your camera up in the back, at least backstage. You got to bring it up at least backstage.
There is a Abuamerican.
Cool.
There is a comment from Black Hole which is saying, I'm not a man. Women can say the same thing about guys cheating in relationship. Like, I would like to respond to that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Look here, Black Hole. You cannot compare women with men because women are not designed, are not wired to have a multisexual partner. And by God's laws, by Sharia, He give the man that like that option. Never give it to women. He created us. He know us better. And science says women are not designed to have multisexual partners. So your your husband can love you and respect you and still sleep with another woman, which is another wife in an Islamic frame. And that will never ever affect his relation with you. He's designed to work in that in that path. That is very okay for a man to have several sexual partners, but for women it never been okay from a cultural point of view, historical point of view. And from I got an episode with Mahdi talking about that, which is it does affect the woman capability of emotional bonding. It does affect her psyche, her behavior. Like the level of depression will go up who have like several sexual partner, and it is zina overall. So why it's permissible for a man to have multisexual partner? It is not for women because she's not created to this role. She's not. Science proved that, and it's haram. So you can't compare it. You can't compare both. Yeah.
Uncle Malik, what's good, man?
Assalamualaikum, guys. How are you?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, good, good. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Very happy to be here, Akhi. I
Happy
do
to have
have
you, bro.
I do have a question just off the back of your, what is it? You know, that attention video,
Yeah.
and with all the things, you know, the garbage that's going on with Mehdi's Instagram. I've
Yeah.
noticed some brothers they're a bit too responsive, you know, even after that video. And I just want to know, where do we draw the line? Like, how many answers should these brothers be given to the sisters before, you know, just being like, forget you?
You know, GZ, we're gonna get to your comment in a minute. This is a good thing that you brought up. Now, for me personally, I'll give a lot of time on YouTube only for the algorithm. You have to come to my video to actually comment. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay,
you're just
that
bringing
makes
in more. You're bringing in more views. You're bringing in more clicks every time you show up, because every time it counts as a new view every time you show up. Do you see what I'm
Right.
saying? So if I show up to one video 2 times, it's 2 views. The higher it goes up, the more it shows on the algorithm. So I'm like, hey, come back. If you want to comment on my videos, I'm going to engage you as much as possible, because it's just bringing me more clicks every single time you show up. You know, thank you. You know, but at the same time, when it comes down to women, I made another video, and this is like 3 years old, 4 years old. Is that basically we also have to look from our perspective what we're actually doing and what we're involving ourselves in when we debate and comment and go back and forth with women online. And I talked about this, that basically if you're letting your woman, and although anyway, I'll get into it. If you're letting your woman online argue and debate with people, she's basically cuckolding you, because why are women online in the first place going back and forth with a man? It's a congruence test. When she's arguing with you, it's like she's arguing with her man. And for lack of a better term, she is congruence testing you as a man online. Well, why do women congruence test men? Because they're attracted to them. Women who don't like a particular man, you don't exist to her. When a woman is not attracted to you, you do not exist to her. It's just like if you don't like fat girls don't exist to you, right? You see them, you're like, ugh. That's you to a woman when she doesn't like you. But if she likes you, she's going to argue with you. She's going to debate with you. She's going to do anything to get your attention. So now let's flip this from the other side. I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, this sister's on here arguing with me, going back and forth. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't want you going back and forth with me. If you got a man, go give him some attention. Why are you giving me your man's attention? That's your man's attention. I don't want it. Don't give it to me. What the sisters and brothers be mad. Oh, you blocked this person. Yeah, that sister is giving me her husband's attention. Even if she's not married, it's kind of like, what you doing here? You see what I mean? So I do agree with you that there should be limits to going back and forth with these sisters. The reality is most of the time going back and forth with them isn't going to change their minds. They're emotional creatures, and we argue and we discuss with them from a logical standpoint. It's like a Chinese person speaking to, who doesn't speak English, to an English person speaking to a Chinese person who doesn't speak Chinese. It's kind of like pointless. You're talking past each other. And this is why these conversations go on for multi-threads forever, because it's two people who can't communicate with each other clearly, communicating with each other unclearly. And so you just spend hours going back and forth with them. And this is why I'm quick to cut people off and block them, because it's just like, okay, all right, we're going in circles here. I'm not even trying to hear her point. And I know what she's doing by arguing with me and coming back and forth with me, and she's just totally doesn't get my point. And she's trying to get my attention, and she's being successful with it. And I'm like, sister, if you ain't marrying me, I hate to be crude, but I'm going to say it, simple fact and matter. I'm going to call it as it is. If I'm not blowing your back out, I don't owe you my time and my attention as a man. I have no obligation to take your crap if you're not at the end of the day undressing and getting down and dirty with me. That's the price for me taking your crap. You got to be my girl. I get to give you the D at the end of the day. That's the fee for me taking your congruence test BS. And if I'm not getting anything out of it, why am I talking to you? Pay me, sister. Drop a super chat like GZ here, and I'll give you the time of day. Otherwise, there's no reward anywhere for me to deal with these sisters. And so this is why I'm pretty harsh. This is why they say I don't like women. No, it's not that I don't like women. It's just there's no benefit in going back and forth with them, because at no point are you ever going to come to an agreement with them. I've never argued with a woman online and come to an agreement where we're like, okay, yeah, that's a good medium ground. And I've never seen it happen.
How you don't like women and you have 4 of them? Like, if you like them, will you have 100?
I'd be wondering the same
thing. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, so Abuamerican, did I answer your question?
Excuse me, Abuamerican.
Yeah. I also answered another thought on the back of my mind.
Okay, bro.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Yeah, I answered another question on the back of my mind. I was thinking, why does Abu keep on responding to these women when he tells us not to? So I'm just thinking, we can respond a bit, but that makes sense. You want the algorithm working for you.
No, it's on YouTube only. These like YouTube.
Yeah.
Instagram. I did that live with Mehdi the other day. These women going crazy in my Instagram photos. I ain't whatever. I ain't talking to you. Instagram don't pay me. YouTube does. They're dropping crazy comments there. It's not like I don't see them.
I know, man. It's nuts. And what they don't realize is whether Mehdi makes money from it or not, he's taking a lot of good deeds away from you women, and they don't realize it.
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's not really beautiful, but it's kind of like, whew, wow, yeah. Why would you do that? You don't like him, you give him all these good deeds. It's kind of crazy stuff. GZ with the $10 super chat. Give me a second here, Abdul any advice for a husband who can win arguments with his wife? It frustrates her that she can't get over on him, but I've heard that making her feel bad, ashamed is not good long-term thoughts. Excuse me. She's laughing. She knows what's coming. How many arguments have you won with me?
No.
0. No mercy. Crush her.
Make sure she remember it.
Exactly. She basically doesn't even try. Now she just tries to annoy me now. She doesn't try and argue with me. She just tries to annoy me. Just try and find a way to annoy him. Because she knows she can't win the argument. All my women got these degrees, high education, smart, and I will smush them in a conference. There's no mercy, bro. Win every argument and do it ruthlessly. Not ruthless as in be cruel to her, but crush her spirit to argue. She's not going to give up, bro. She's going to, one way or another, she's going to nag you. She's going to give you a hard time. There's no question about it. But definitely I have zero compunction against absolutely destroying them in arguments. I will not surrender. Abuamerican is highly competitive. I'm highly combative. I think that's visible from my comment section on YouTube. Don't come at me, girl. That's not the relationship we got.
Make sure she remember that.
Exactly. It's like, ooh, this is gonna be juicy. You really want some? All right, let's get that smoke. You know? So generally they just try and be annoying now, and which is the attempt in arguing with you is anyway. So you might as well pick what kind of annoying they're gonna be. And so
do you know what I always said when
what do you always say? Tell them.
Are you serious? You bring that again.
Yeah, see, there she goes. She's, are you serious? You bring that again. You see, because I just like, we had this conversation on October 4th, 2020, and I just beat them over the head. There's no obligation for you as a man to lose an argument with your wife. That's that blue pill guy who's okay, Susie Q, I'm gonna sleep on the sofa tonight. No, I'm not. I paid the rent and I bought the sofa too. Guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get naked tonight after you lost the argument. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
And she's laughing because she knows I'm right. Bro, do you not understand your power? Bro, you have power. Use it. And this, you don't have to like she laughing. So she know it's voluntary. I ain't like jumping over like, come here. Nah, bro.
But don't be like holding grudges too.
No, I don't hold grudges. How you hold grudge when you win the argument?
Some people do that.
They win the argument and hold grudge?
And then stay silent for how many hours?
Nope.
Don't do that.
Nope, not at all. I'm gonna be smiling like, what's up?
Yeah, that's more annoying to be honest.
You want an ice cream, baby? Come on, I'll buy you a cookie. You really rub it in. Reward her for losing. I'll buy you some cookies because tonight I want the cookie.
Yeah, make her feel like ashamed that she makes the argument.
See, she understands. She understands my game very well.
Well done.
Don't
sir.
lose, Jeezy. Don't lose. Abdulmalik, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you've answered my question. If I do have anything else I want to ask, I'll ask you in the comments. MashaAllah, barakallahu feek. You're always very good at responding back. So, yeah, that's nice. I do just want to tell the brothers to, take what Abuamerican said about giving attention on board. You guys are still paying too much attention to it, and it's lame, and they enjoy it more than you do.
Yes. My man, Abdulmalik, he's taking notes. He knows what's up. He's absolutely right, man. Alhamdulillah, barakallahu feek, man. Good. That's a good reminder for brothers out there.
Take care, Abuamerican. Assalamu alaikum.
You too, bro. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Umar, I put the link inside the whatchamacallit. Guys, barakallahu feek. It has been 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is one of the longest streams I've done in a while. I will be back. Oh, okay, mashallah. I'll go and take a look and read at it. I'm just a savage with the arguments, man. Debating, unfortunately, it's not a positive thing, but debating I've been cursed with it or blessed with it. Some of both. I don't know which one, but I'm very good at it. So 2 hours and 15 minutes basically. Barakallahu fikum. Jazakallah khair for tuning in. Abuamerican drank some of this, so I need to biologically break and go to the restroom and whatnot. Mo Ali, no problem, man. Glad you weren't a troll, man. It's always risky bringing people on the show. Next week on Friday, I'm here with what's that girl's name? Femsapien, the non-Muslim Christian. She's actually a Christian girl.
Real Femsapien.
Yeah, Real Femsapien. I think it's Femsapien, but she had to use Real Femsapien because someone stole her handle. And so I'll be on her. I guess she's a Christian. I guess she's like considers herself Christian. I think she's a femininity coach for women. She's a stay-at-home wife. I think she's in the army or something like this. But whatever, she's pro-femininity, whatnot. Ali, thank you. She's made a really big splash on the internet, got something like 43,000 followers. She did a interview with Naima B. Roberts, our sister, our Niqabi sister, who talks on these matters also. She did a interview with her just last week, no, it was this week actually. So check it out. Yeah, it was a very good show between her and Naima B. Roberts. And so, inshallah, she said, "Oh, I'd love to, come on your channel." And so I was surprised because she follows me on Twitter. I was actually shocked to see that. And she'll be here. We're going to be talking about like femininity and how and what, how we can help sisters as brothers, because we don't really have any sort of Muslim femininity coaches. And she's trying to bring back and say femininity in the West. And I think some of our sisters need some of this stuff and they need to hear it. She's on some stuff that Muslim sisters should be on. So I'm going to have her on the show. We're going to talk about her work in, saving femininity in the West. And this is what everybody wants. Everybody wants submissive, feminine women. And she actually talks about what it took for her to get there, because she wasn't always like that. So I think it's going to be a good show, inshallah. Now, barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Y'all brothers have a good night and the rest of your weekend. Inshallah.